What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2 at Old Trafford. We put on the thumbnail is a draw or fair result. You can let us know immediately as you filter in. This is the full-time view where you can call in, where you can have your say. The link's going to be out very shortly, so that if you are a member, you can call in and have your say. The link is out now. It's on the United View YouTube page. Go all the way over to the community tab. If you're a member, you'll be able to see it. You can call in. You can have your say on the match. Just whilst everyone is filtering in, I'll give some of my thoughts on the match. It's par for the course, really, for Man United this season, isn't it? I suppose. Were we the better team? No. Should we have won the game? Ironically enough, yes. You know, with Scott McTominay with a last minute, it's a free header. It's probably the easiest chance out of all in the entire game. But, you know, Spurs dominated us in reality. They dominated us. They were the better side. They're missing a lot of players, and they still dominated us. And I thought first half United did okay. Went into it at halftime 2-1. Again, I can literally do the lead judges, you know, in the first half. But second half, we were particularly poor. I mentioned this on social media too. Watching Manchester United at points try and pass the ball, it's almost hilarious. If it's so bad that it's almost hilarious, because it's Bambi football. Some of the players genuinely cannot trap the ball and pass it. It's unbelievable to watch at times. And, you know, there were some good parts of the game. You get Rasmus Højlund scores his goal. Marcus Rashford scores his. When it comes to Marcus Rashford today, Marcus Rashford today, it's a fascinating one, isn't it? It's a fascinating one with Marcus Rashford, because he scores his goal right today, and he had a lot of the ball. And I don't know if he technically gets an assist for Rasmus Højlund's first goal as well. But he is the most frustrating player to watch, I think, you know, because he is so one-dimensional. So one-dimensional, where he picks up the ball, he gets his head down, and he'll just run. He'll just run into either blind alleys or run off the pitch or give the ball away. And even really, you know, Højlund's first goal, him and Højlund kind of collide into each other as well. And then Højlund smashes it into the net. And I remember after the Wigan game on Monday, I was talking about Rashford during the game, and some people going, "Why you're hating on Rashford so much? He got an assist," but it's like, they're almost accidental at points as well, realistically. And it's beyond frustrating. And it's just, every time Spurs went forward in the second half, I thought they were going to score. Every time they had a set piece, I was convinced they were going to score as well. You look at the goals we conceded today. The first one is the corner, and we got like 3 or 4 different warnings before we conceded from that corner, from set pieces, and they continue out for the remainder of the game. Andre Onana, the ball's coming into a 6-yard box. He's not doing anything about it. The setup from the set pieces as well. You've got Kobbie Mainoo, one of the shortest players on the pitch, man marking the likes of Richarlison, or even at points Romero when he hit the bar as well. And then in the second half, it was very clear what conversation would have happened at halftime with, you know, Ange Postecoglou and his coaching staff. They would have said, look, the gaps are there in midfield. The gaps are huge in midfield. Just pass the ball through. You'll be in every single time. And that's what they were. And then even the goal itself was really poor, really soft. Onana almost gets out of the way of it. And Evans tries to sort of stand up to him. And it was just second half. Again, the irony is that we should have actually won the game because McTominay misses a sitter, but we're just poor. And you could listen in. I can see Aminor was in there. We're going to go to him in a second. He's outside Old Trafford, I think. But you could see in the second half, it was quiet. It was quiet, and because you could tell the fans were just like, you know, what's going to happen here? So I ask, is a draw a fair result? Because Spurs dominated the game, but arguably we had the better chances as well, which is which is crazy. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Be sure to smash a like or the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. A reminder, you can call in. You can have your say if indeed you are a member. Go over to the United View YouTube page. Go all the way over to the community tab. The link will be there for members. You can call in. If you wish to become a member, you can do so. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. Or you can just click the join button. It's easy as that. Super chat, then we'll get to a call. Hussein says, shambolic. How is Ten Hag still in a job? I'm not going to lie. I was concerned coming into the second half. You know that stat, which is, United, when they're leading at halftime at Old Trafford in the Premier League, they've never lost. I thought, oh God, here we go. That record's going to go, but it didn't. But I'm just seeing some of the goals back. They're just bad. Let's get to your calls. Let's start off with who's outside Old Trafford. Amanar, what are your thoughts?
We're a mid-table team, Owen. I think that's the honest assessment. I'm with the KG as well. I know you can't see me, but I'm with KG.
Owen!
Yeah. So
Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm disappointed, Owen. I think we are playing. That is our team. That is the level that we are. We should be aiming for Conference League. Spurs would be disappointed, I think, with that result. I think they could have gone for the win, to be honest, with you, second half. But that's my overall reaction.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. What did you make of Marcus Rashford today? Gets a goal. Did we see the best and worst of him, do you think?
If he didn't have the goal, I'd probably give him a 4 out of 10 in terms of performance. Again, I feel like he doesn't know what he's doing on the pitch. I don't know whether he gets coached by Ten Hag or he does get told instructions where he decides to do his own thing. I'm not quite sure. His goal is quite cute, but I'm just not sure with Rashford. To be honest, is he annoyed with the way the team's playing? Is he annoyed that Jadon's gone and that he's feeling like a bit lost himself? Not sure. It's very hard to say. It's a haphazard performance by Rashford. I have to say Bruno played well. I was quite impressed with Bruno, but Rashford's a bit slightly as I expected.
Yeah, what do you make of with Ten Hag today? Because you've got a Spurs side, they've got a lot of injuries to play their football. You've got a United side getting some of their players back, but I mean, we're using the excuse of injuries this season. Spurs aren't, I guess, really. They're still playing their style. Is that a concern for you?
I don't know, Owen, in terms of whether the players are still playing for the manager. I think they are, but either they're not taking on his instructions or his instructions are not clear. I still can't see a style of play. You got to bear in mind, Spurs lost a few key players. Son was not there. Whoever Sarr was not there, etc. But you could see a style of play from Spurs, especially in the second half. Second half, they were pretty comfortable. Apart from Scott McTominay at the end, I thought Spurs pretty much dominated the second half, and they had the most corners. So he begs, in terms of Erik Ten Hag, I worry for him now. I don't know whether the players have tuned out from him. When he may give him instructions, but the players may not be listening to instructions, and therefore going back to the default setting of, look, I'm just here to play, get my wage back, and then go home, rather than think, okay, I want to play to win.
I mean, now that we've got a couple of weeks break, Martinez is back today. Casemiro was on the bench. Do you expect United to kick on this season, or is it going to be just more of like this for the remainder of the season, do you think?
I think it will be more like this in the remainder of the season, just because this team is not as dynamic, is not as intense as I thought they would be compared to last season. In the second half, Owen, when we had the ball, there was opportunities for Onana to really do transition play football, counter-attacking football. But he just paused it. United slowed the game down when there was opportunities to sort of counter. But yeah, and like I said, I think this is where we are as a team for this season. Unfortunately, this is our transition season. It's hard to take, but this is it. It'll be interesting to see what happens if we lose a few more games or if we draw. But I'm accepting for the fact that top 4 is our reach. If we were to get top 4, this was the game to win. The fact that we drew and we've got Wolves and West Ham next, I just think the top 4 is out of reach for us. We're just got to have to consolidate and aim for the Conference League or Europa League spots.
And just finally, what do you think of Andre Onana? He's got some criticism today for some of the goals. Maybe some people saying that he could have come out for the corner or stood up for the second one. What do you make of Onana? You mentioned his pausing the play. Do you still have concerns about him as a goalkeeper?
He's not. I don't know Onana wasn't the problem. Yeah, he might have. I didn't think it was a major problem in the team, but the fact is that whether Erik Ten Hag's telling him to pause the game or he's just incapable, I'm not sure. For me, he's not. I know David had to go. I'll accept that, but I don't think Onana's the answer. And sometimes you've got to be brave as a manager or as a club to say, look, we made a signing and it wasn't the right signing for us. That is probably where we need to get to at the end of the season and look again. But whether we've got the funds for that, not sure.
Big up, Amanor. Appreciate you calling in from outside Old Trafford there. Look at that. You get the first-hand experience from outside OT. Big up, Amanor. Appreciate him calling in. What are people saying in the chat? We'll get some more calls in just a second. But what are people saying here in the chat at the moment? Bernard says more of the same for the rest of the season, basically sort of agreeing with Amanor. Kyle says Eriksen's legs are gone. Was absolutely shocking today. Some people disagreeing, quite a few people actually disagreeing with Amanor, saying that Bruno was good. I thought Bruno, again, in the same way that I said, I think we probably saw, I say the best of Marcus Rashford, but we saw glimpses of what Rashford can do, very, very fine glimpses. Kind of the same with Bruno. I mean, for the first goal, the pass by Bruno is great. And that was like 2-3 minutes into the game. And I thought, right, that's what we're going to get. I thought that's the game plan. Same game plan like it was against Villa. Win the ball back, pass it quickly between the lines, try and beat that high line, and you're laughing. And then, particularly in the second half, when you're just being dominated possession over and over and over again, the last thing you want from your captain is to start playing these like 1% passes, immediately giving the ball away, and then pressure just coming right back onto you every single time. And then at points, there were times where Rashford and Bruno tried to link up, and it was terrible. It was awful. And I see, I've scrolled past it now. Someone said, oh, here we go. V Cobra says, what a question is that, Owen? Referring to, I said, do you worry about Ten Hag? Because this is the comparison people are going to make today. The comparison that people are going to make, and you can't shy away from it because it's the truth, is that Spurs have a lot of injuries right now. They still dominated today. And let's be completely honest here. If they had their strongest team, I think they'd have probably won. Because they dominated the game. They dominated possession. And United, we've got injuries too. I'm not disputing that. But I'm looking at that today and I'm like, I think we're playing on the counter-attack. But at the same time, to play on the counter-attack, to be direct, you have to string together 3 or 4 passes like bang, 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 and score. We couldn't do that. We would win the ball back and give it away immediately as well. It was really, particularly the second half, technically was so poor. I mean, it cannot be stressed how poor technically it was in the second half. Let's get to another call. Let's go to Pav. Pav, a new profile picture today. It's got from Darth Vader to the Emperor this time. I think the darkness is flowing through you. What did you make of that game?
First of all, let me praise Rasmus Højlund for that goal, considering I went absolutely in on him last time I spoke to you. But that's all I'm going to praise him for, because he didn't do nothing else after that. Prove me wrong. Score more goals. I'll change my mind on you. But overall, the game, I agree with what you said. We were rubbish. We have 36% possession throughout that whole game at home against Tottenham. That should never happen. But I'm not surprised, because we have been poor all season. I want to talk about Onana and Rashford a little bit. Let's start with Onana. That man did absolutely nothing to try to stop them 2 goals. That corner, what the hell are we doing on set pieces? Because that ain't the first time. Why didn't he come out? Like, don't tell me you get pinged in that box, because I've seen you come out before for corners. So why did that stop you then? The marking for that goal was poor as well. The defenders have to take the blame for that, and I don't get why we're playing Wan-Bissaka at left back. I just don't get it. No, and the second goal as well. I know it was a bit like Bentancur pinged it, but come on, man! Like, you should try to make an attempt. Like, you just froze. That, like, even sometimes I think like David De Gea would have stopped a goal like that. We've seen it, but the guy does nothing. I don't get it. He never goes for a ball when it's coming in like that. I can't be arsed with this keeper. I don't get why we kept him. Why didn't you just let him go to Cameroon to the AFCON? Like, it makes no sense. You've kept him for a draw. Like, the guy did absolutely nothing. I don't think Bayern Deer would have done any worse than what he's done. And Ten Hag, he's going to obviously face questions for that again, because it made absolutely no difference to the
I
style of
agree.
play that we were trying to achieve.
I think with Onana today, I was watching and I was thinking during the game, I was just like, I'm starting to think more and more when it comes to him, because let's be honest, I think the hope that he's going to get better from a sort of shot stopping, fundamental goalkeeping point of view, he's just not. How old is he? He's 27, I think he is 28.
Do you know the thing? Yeah, it's going to be hard to sell him.
He's a keeper you put in. He's a keeper you put in. I've said this so many times, like a Man City, where the shots against you are limited in the game. But your passing play, you got to play out from the back, and he's going to be an extra outfield player. He suits that. But in a team like ours, where we concede a lot of chances, I mean, our midfield is so open, and we'll concede chances in the game. He's just not suited to that. It just doesn't fit. And if that's not going to get better, it's kind of wild, isn't it? That the way for us to improve our goalkeeper is actually we just got to concede less chances, because
for him to be effective, you need to have a solid defense and a midfield in front of you where you're going to keep possession majority of the time, and you're going to have your opponents putting in their own half. This is why we needed to keep David, because we need a shot stop at the middle. Onana's not what we need when the rest of the outfield is not good enough for Onana to be in that team. But on Onana, just to round up on him, we need a new keeper in the summer. I don't care. This guy can't go into next season. We can't be doing the same thing. Either we're going to have to do what Chelsea done when they brought in Sanchez, he wasn't good enough, and then they brought in a Petrovic from the MLS, who's doing actually pretty decent for them. So we're going to have to find a bargain on a keeper, because we can't go out and spend another 30, 40, 50 mil on a keeper. That ain't going to happen. We're going to have to find a gem out there. And now on Rashford. Oh, my God. Other than that goal, mate, this guy is rubbish. Do you remember, when Ronaldo was scoring all them goals, and everyone kept saying he's scoring all them goals, but his body doesn't look like it can do what it used to do. Like, they called him rigid, and they called him that he wasn't flexible. I feel like when I watch Rashford, he just feels rigid. Like, he's not flexible anymore. He just feels like really stiff on his turns and everything. And I'm like, my God, this guy needs like a world-class chiropractor to break him down and bend him about to do something, because this guy can't turn. He can't dribble past anyone. And the amount of times he was just taking a ball on the outside and it was just going out for a goal kick. I don't get it. What's wrong with him? In the space of like what he done last season up until, say, like the Carabao Cup, from then onwards, he's just gone downhill. And I honestly don't think there's any way back for this guy. I think he has to go in the summer. He has to be one of the players on the chopping board. Like, I don't get what's wrong with this guy's body, man. He just looks so stiff, and it gets worse as the games go on. Like, I mean, he scored a good goal, but other than that, I don't get how he stayed on that pitch for that long.
He's in that territory, particularly in the last couple of games, where, like, against Wigan, they'll go, look, I got an assist. Or today they'll go, well, I got a goal. Technically gets an assist for the first one. But I agree with you in the sense of, if you watch the game, you go, you should have so much more, because everything was going down the left, but he's infuriating to watch at times, because
the pace is still there. He's still got speed. It's just that the way he turns and his dribbling's not there anymore. Decision making as well.
It's kind of like he gets attracted towards the other defenders. You know what I mean? He'll cut inside, and then there's like three players, and you're going like, do you know what you're going to do with it now? Because I don't know what you're going to do now, because the space is dried up. And it's just, I almost felt a bit bad, honestly, for Garnacho, because I thought, he did well on the right-hand side against Wigan, but I kind of at one point in the game thought, why is Garnacho not like, why haven't they swapped during this game? Why wouldn't, we're getting Joy down the left. Why not swap over and go, hey, Garnacho, you have a go on the left. Rashford have a go on the right. Something like that. It was just this insistence. No, Rashford's on the left. He's got his goal and that's it. And I was just a bit like,
I don't think Rashford would have done anything on the right either, because Tottenham have got two top-class fullbacks.
I meant more Garnacho on the left, just because you're getting freedom on the left. I don't know. It's just, like I said, it is.
I don't know what it is with him, because, like I said, like at his age and his body's moving like that, other than his speed, like everything just looks like it's gone. And I'm just like, is he finished? Like, is he just going to become like a runner and that's it? Because we can't keep watching that. Like, you're not really that effective in and then if it knows you don't really defend, and when the ball is played to you, and you've got that yard of pace on the fullback, you're making nothing out of it because you can't turn. You can't beat your man once he's run back. Your decision making's poor. Like, I don't get what we're gonna replace him with, even if he goes. Like, I don't. I honestly don't know. Like, he's got to go for me. But overall, like, the draw changes nothing for me. Like, we're in 7th place. We had to win this game. Like, every game, 10 needs to win. He's clearly on the chopping board. Even Roy Keane said it in the last game. He knows that his job's at risk. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be like a slow death up until the end of May when the season ends. Like, I already know this guy is gone, but you're not doing yourself any favors, man. Like, I don't know why you bought him, McTominay. You bought him on, and he missed a big chance right at the end.
Well, I suppose that's why he brought him on, wasn't it? Because if McTominay scores, then it's genius, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he scores,
that's when people get into the territory of going, well, Erik ten Hag can't head that ball in, for McTominay, can he?
But I still don't think he should have been coming on. I would have rather seen Casemiro come on. Like, Casemiro, in my opinion, I've seen Casemiro make chances. He scored goals before he got injured, but I don't know. Like, if you got him on the bench, you should have brought him on. If he's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to play some part of the game. Now he's not obviously going to play. We're not going to see him until the end of January when we play in the FA Cup again. But it is what it is. Just have to wait another 2 weeks till that game now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Big up, Pav. Appreciate you calling in as always. How many likes are we currently at the moment? We've got nearly 600 people watching. Less than 100 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You know what to do. Let's get to another call. Let's go to Chalaboy Comics. Evening, my friend. What did you make of all of that? What you saw today?
So Owen, I will start off, with a positive, because I feel like let's just lift up the spirits a little bit before we get into the sad reality of our club. And the first thing is Johnny Evans. What a masterful performance today. He was really good. I loved his defending. He defended a lot of the corners that Spurs had. He was the guy who was the rock, in our foundation. And I thought it was a nice throwback performance. He's been doing really well all season. So I want to congratulate him for that. I want to congratulate Garnacho for showing a lot of fight in this game because he was out of both our wingers, tracking back with intensity, trying to press with intensity, and taking on his man with fight. Udogie matched him, today, but I just want to say it was this is what a United player should show, this sort of passion and desire. So I love that about.
He should have got an assist right at the end. Yeah,
it should have got an assist. And, I guess we're here now, because the negatives of this performance is the fact that I've said it for, I think, 3-4 streams in a row. We just don't have the player quality to win games. If you look at every sort of a big match that's ever been played, that a manager wins and gets their reputation off, it's their big players or their main players, delivering in big moments. That's just the story of football, right? And we just don't have the players to consistently do that week in, week out. And so we're always going to get these type of performances where that should be 3 points. We should be happy. Last minute winner. This is an amazing day. And now it's just meh. At least we didn't lose our record of not losing the game while going ahead in halftime. We're happy. We'll take that. But yeah. So it's a bit frustrating. But it's just a lack of player quality. My expectations are already. Yeah, I thought we were going to win 2-1, but, here we are.
Yeah, what did you make of Marcus Rashford's day? We're just talking with Pav there. Lots of people talking in the comments about Rashford. He got a goal, gets an assist, technically. Got an assist on Monday. But it's still at points a difficult watch when it comes to him. What do you think Ten Hag does? Does he just now keep playing him because he is getting goals? Or when does it cross that line when it starts to become a bit of a detriment to the team once again?
No, that's a very good question, and that is the enigma that is Marcus Rashford, because he does have some positives to his game and he is an impactful player, but his lack of awareness is very worrying, and I don't know if it's up to the coach to simplify his game for him and give him a game plan where he's making 2, at most 3 reads, per possession, because it's frustrating to see him keep running into blind eyes, like you said, attract a ton of players into his space when going one way where the space would have been better. However, I do want to say, like, attacking wise, he is trying, so I don't want to be too negative on him. He scored his goal, and I think Ten Hag has to keep playing him because we just don't have that many options, and we also lack goals as a team. So if you have someone in some sort of goal scoring form, like you just have to play them, right? It is frustrating. I hope he grows up. But for me, when I see Rashford, I'm okay to a certain degree with attacking players trying to take on their man and failing if it's the right decision. Like, that's part of the game. But when that's not going right for you, make sure you're doing everything else in the game to make up for that. And that involves tracking back, that involves pressing. And I think he started the game off quite lively. And then I think by minute 6 or 7, he had given up on the press, and that's the frustrating thing about Marcus Rashford. And I wish a journalist would have the courage to specifically ask him direct one-on-one, hey, Rashford, do you not press because it's a coaching instruction, or is it an attitude and willingness thing? And let's see how he responds to that, because he needs to be held accountable for that part of his game. But I don't want to be too harsh because he got his goal. It was for a not a long time, but for a little while, the winning goal. Shades of gray for that performance.
Yeah, lots of people will point out today, they'll have the discussion about really the styles of play of both sides. They'll say Ange Postecoglou's been in the job for like 9 months, something like that. They've got lots of players missing, but they still play their football. They had, was it like 70% possession, or maybe just a bit less than that? Whereas United, we both got players missing, but we don't really still know what our style is. Does that make you a bit concerned for Ten Hag? Is it a bit worrying that we have to, an away side like Spurs has come to Old Trafford and really pass this off the park? Is that a worry for you?
It is in some ways. And what I do want to say, just to get a little bit philosophical about football, is that Spurs have always been, or for the Premier League era, most recently, been known as a free-flowing team, scoring lots of goals, conceding lots of goals, pretty to watch, but no substance, right? That has been their MO. And so I think a coach of the profile of Ange Postecoglou, matches the ethos of the Spurs team. So you get that, synergy. So Spurs have always been a side that does that. Whereas in contrast, Man United have, historically been a very direct side, compact, counter-attacking. Even though we hold the ball, we're about fast wingers playing the transition game. And I feel that there's been sort of like a mismatch of players within the United squad under so many managers that is only getting sorted out right now. So and then you add in the fact that the United shirt is very heavy, right? It's gonna create a situation where it's gonna be harder to succeed at United than Spurs. So I don't want to make that comparison. For Ten Hag, of course, results. It's a results business, and he's struggling right now. But I think my main criticism of Ten Hag is his decision making when it comes to personnel. And I'm hoping when Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos come in, they block the Fernandez deal, our left back. We were going to sell him for pennies, and then it may just be a loan deal, according to Fabrizio Romano, right? That's why I worry for Ten Hag. I need to see him make better decisions with personnel. And I'm hoping when we have the best team, you can see his style of play come through. But before we go, I just also do want to say that I want to ask a question.
Sure.
Lisandro Martinez came in and he looked really good. His passing angles were crisp. You're like, ooh, I can see him and Mino sort of combining, right? So if he comes back, who drops out the team, Varane or Evans? Because Evans, by all metrics, has been our best defender, but Varane is Varane. So how would you see that happening?
It would be Johnny Evans most likely, I would think. I think, when we signed him in the summer, the intention was for Evans not really to play at all. He was just, he's going to be there for experience, help the younger players, occasionally come in if we needed it. It's been startling that actually Evans has actually been our best signing this season. It's crazy to say. But I mean, I agree with you. Martinez came on, and then just after like 5 minutes, you see him passing the ball. You go, "Oh, that's how
football can be nice."
That's how a player actually passes the ball." But I think that says a lot, actually, as well, though, just about the lack of technical ability we have on our side at points, because it's tough to watch. And maybe this goes back to sort of the Ange versus Ten Hag kind of thing. Is I think maybe some of those players just can't do it, in terms of like keeping the ball like that. They just, because every time we won the ball back, we give the ball away straight away.
Exactly.
So that's part of the problem.
Player quality. And that's why Mino is so refreshing. Lissandro is so refreshing. Dallo, even like when he's with the ball, he can handle it. So it's just a matter of, I think, once these young players grow into men, that's when we're going to see, us shine. But right now we're going to see up, down, because it's the nature of young players and crap players, and when you have a combination of the two, sometimes you get really good games, sometimes you get horror shows. So, but right now it's just meh.
Exactly. Appreciate you, Chalaboy Comics. Appreciate you calling in as always. Remember, if you do wish to call in, you can do so. You can go over to the United View YouTube page, all the way over to the community tab. The link is there. If you wish to become a member, because you might go over to the tab right now, go, I can't see it. You have to be a member. If you do wish to become a member, you can do so. Links in the video description. It's the pinned comment in the live chat, or you just click the join button. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So if you haven't already, you can join. So you get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members only content as well. Speaking of which, I'm sure there's some members in the chat right now. Fill up the chat with all of the emojis. There's a lot. There's a lot of emojis, and we want to add more, but we can't until we get more members. So there you go. How many likes are we currently at the moment as well? We've still got over 500 people watching, just over 100, just shy over 100. I saw last night, I was watching KG do a watch along on his channel for one of the AFCON games, which he's going to be doing a lot more of, by the way. So be sure to subscribe to his channel. He had a tremendous ratio. He had something like 300 watching. He might have had like nearly everyone like it. Nearly everyone. And I looked at that and I went, we can do that. Why can't we do that? So if you haven't already, click the like button. And be sure to subscribe as well. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Charles. Charles, what did you make of everything you saw this evening?
Poor game, poor management, poor everything, really.
I suppose, actually, I should ask you, did you manage to stay awake during this one? Because you've been known to fall asleep during a game or two.
Yeah,
you're awake.
I stayed awake, but I didn't really focus on the game. It was like background noise for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just knew nothing was going to come from anything. Happy that Højlund finally got a goal. Well, his second goal. To be honest, I'm not really impressed by him. Rashford, I feel like now we can all say that he is not the level. I don't want to hear any golden boy comments. Like, we can park that for right now. Bruno Fernandes, again, I believe we can all finally say he is not the level. We can all stop forcing the Bruno agenda. This guy is not it. Garnacho, he is playing well. I like seeing him on the right. He's doing well for himself. I still feel like we can improve in that area, but for now, he is practically the best winger that we have at the club, which says a lot about the club.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
Midfield, you have Casemiro coming back. Please, Lord, let the midfield be Casemiro and Manu. I don't care who is in 10. It can be Bruno, it can be Eriksen, it can be Mount, but please, I don't want to see Scott McTominay enter this team. I'm tired. I've lost all the energy I have to talk about Scott McTominay. At fullback, you see everybody saying that we should keep Wan-Bissaka, yeah? Sell him. Sell him yesterday. I don't want to see him. He is not the level. He really isn't. Lisandro Martinez came on today. I'm happy he's back. There's a little bit of fraud watch going on with him, just because he's an Erik Ten Hag signing. I'm looking at all of them with side eye now. And I need to see, because all his signings, they have been good for like one season. Lisandro Martinez has missed most of this season. So I'm just gonna look at him. I'm not really doubting him. But this is injury that he's come back from. I'm looking at him right now.
How do you think he did today when he came on then?
Today he was decent. Like it was a nothing game. Like I didn't really see anything impressive from anyone in our team. Like you said, Tottenham had injuries. Like half of their team went for AFCON too, and they still showed up to our own house and just bust us. They did that to us, bro, in our own home. And this manager is just overseeing everything. Our downfall is coming quick, and this guy is just there watching. Like, I don't know what else to say about this team. Who do we play next?
The next game is, next game is the FA Cup, which is against either Eastleigh or Newport County. The next game in the Premier League is against Wolves away.
Bro, away against Wolves. Jesus Christ. That's going to be tough. And you have Rashford that just wants to run into blind alleys. You have a low block too. We're not really good with low blocks. But I'm gonna go with what Flex said. Yeah, if we lose to Eastleigh or whatever they call that team, manager has to leave that day. And anybody that played in that starting 11, all of them need to start getting looked at. All of them.
Do you think, though? I mean, we saw Martinez come on in the second half. Casemiro will be back. Are you expecting some element of improvement now that these players are going to be coming back in the sort of second half of the season, and because we just don't have as many games as we had previously, or are there more sort of systemic issues for you?
I'm expecting improvement because this guy has been talking all season about how we've had injuries. When the players are back, I'm not expecting us to go on some 10-game winning run, but it has to be better than what I've seen. We have to be more solid. If we're going to go back to last season where we were doing counter-attack and scoring one goal, but we were defensively solid, I would take that. But that is what I need to see. Like, there needs to be improvement. We can't have Casemiro, Lisandro, the whole team back, and then we're still as shit as we were when they were not playing. That is not acceptable. And I hope that Jim Ratcliffe and Brailsford people watched today's game and they saw the mess that is going on in this entire club. I hope they're looking with their eyes wide open and their plans are in motion, because the work we need, looking at Tottenham, yes, this is season 1, but the work we need. I saw Oliver Skip balling us. I saw Bentancur. That guy is, bro, who knows any of the Tottenham players, bro? There was one guy that came on. I don't even know what his name is. He said his name is Gil. Like, what is he? What does he do? And he came on and he bossed us. Everyone played us. We play against Wigan and we're struggling. Everyone we play moves to us. It doesn't matter if we're home or away, we're getting moved to. Like, something needs to change. Casemiro coming back, Varane, Lisandro, it needs to change.
Needs to change indeed. Big up, Charles. Appreciate you calling in as always. Just some breaking news as well coming in the last couple of minutes. So before we went live, there was a Fabrizio Romano, here we go, regarding Hannibal Mejbri. But it's actually sort of the second part of it, which is quite interesting here. So Fabrizio Romano has tweeted, Hannibal Mejbri to Sevilla, here we go. Agreement completed on loan with a buy option clause approved by Manchester United. This is the really interesting part. So Romano initially tweeted, buyback clause also expected to be confirmed as final details soon. Sevilla already wanted Hannibal last summer. Deal is finally done. Medical next week. However, things have changed a little bit. As I mentioned, it had been reported throughout the week. The expectation was that Hannibal was going to be going on loan to Sevilla. There was going to be, as I mentioned, this buy option, but there was going to be a buyback clause. So United were protected in kind of all situations. But that news has kind of changed here because Fabrizio Romano has now just tweeted in the last couple of minutes. He understands Manchester United will not have a buyback clause for Hannibal Mejbri. Sevilla can buy Hannibal in June for 20 million euros. This is the value of the buy option clause. Hannibal travels to Spain tonight. Now, that buy option, I'm happy with the buy option because if we got 20 million euro for Hannibal, I'd be like, well, it's not bad going. It's not having the buyback clause that concerns me, because that just seems like something being set up to fail, doesn't it? That seems like something being set up to fail. We have seen, I think there is a player in Hannibal Mejbri, whether he's the level to compete properly at Manchester United, time will only tell. Time will tell about that. But I think what we did see of him when he had a season-long loan at Birmingham, just playing first-team football at a regular level, he improved tremendously. Now, he has a season of first-team football in La Liga, playing a team like Sevilla. I think he will continue to improve, and he could become a viable option for Manchester United. Now, I understood it as the whole reason would be of this sort of the way that they've operated in this one is because Hannibal's got a year left on his contract. They triggered that extension. So you've only got a year left. And some of these sort of younger players are looking at it going, am I ever going to get a go at United? Am I ever going to get a real, am I going to get a run of games? I don't know. And United can go, right, we'll send you out on loan to improve you. That's one thing. 2, we'll put an option there because we want to get ourselves covered because you might not agree to a new contract. But if you do then become an unbelievable midfielder, we've got this buyback clause so we can bring you back in the future. And then when you do come back in the future, you'll play because we're willing to spend this amount of money. United cover their bases. But at the same time, that's just a bit concerning for me. 20 million euro, I think would be a good price for Hannibal as well. But that does concern me that there's no buyback clause as part of that deal. I mean, let me know your thoughts about that in the chat there. The G said, looks like Owen is a fraud too. And saying, Owen, what about what this previous guy said? Any words? Well, regarding the callers, look, the callers can come in and have their say regardless. I mean, that's part of the perks of becoming a UV member. Calling, you can have your say. Everyone's got fans. This is the thing at the end of the day, is that everyone's going to have opinions. People aren't going to agree with opinions, but that's the whole point of being fans, isn't it, as well? What are people saying in the chat about this? JB says, I'm honestly just so drained and frustrated with this club. What else are people saying here at the moment? Kristen says Sevilla might not trigger the option. Well, that's the point too, isn't it? So that's that buy option has surprised me, to be honest with you. 20 million euros because one, Sevilla certainly last summer, the biggest story surrounding them was that financially they were in a lot of trouble. They had to near enough sell, or all of their players went up for sale, and then they ended up, of course, getting back Sergio Ramos. So Hannibal might be there on loan for the remainder of the season, and they might go, we don't think that's reflective of value. 20 million euro. Look, 20 million euros for Hannibal Mejbri with a year left on his contract, I think would be pretty good business for United, to be honest with you. As far as from a financial fair play point of view, it's pure profit. It's just not having that buyback. I would prefer United have that flexibility to be able to sort of, because you never know who someone's going to become, particularly when they're playing regular first-team football. And as I said, he did improve quite significantly at Birmingham. Still not like today. It's not a case of like Hannibal should be getting runs over some certain midfielders in the United side. I think when he has come in, he's done well. I think he needs to fix his temperament. He's a walking red card at points, but he does need regular football. I would, like I said, that buyback clause, that if we got the buyback clause in there, that would have been a perfect deal. You'd have said, right, you've managed to overcome that. You can get a good fee if he goes. I mean, I suppose the real concern could be is that what if Sevilla don't trigger that option? He comes back and he goes, no, I'm still not signing a new contract. And he goes on a free anyway. that would be a bit of concern. So this one absolutely could still firmly blow up in Manchester United's face, because the low move might not go well, comes back, and then he goes, all right, we're going to sign a new contract. No, I'm still gonna go. And we end up getting nothing. So we'll wait and see. I think Sevilla might be a good side for him. I mean, having a team that has Sergio Ramos and Hannibal in, you could get multiple games where you end up with 9 men. To be honest with you, that would be an interesting watch, certainly. But there you go. That's the full-time view for you this evening, folks. A reminder, if you're watching after the fact, you can call in, you can have your say. Also, a reminder, fan views will be coming out, or they should be out very shortly, coming from UVHQ, also outside Old Trafford. Plenty of people were asking today, where's KG? Where's KG? Well, if you watched the road trip earlier on, he's at Old Trafford. He's there with Flex. So you'll hear the reaction of Flex and KG from outside Old Trafford. And it'll be an interesting one because I was watching expressions during that game, and at points he was very stressed. He was very stressed because this is what's funny with United this season, isn't it? I don't think we're naive, because whenever we do beat, say we do beat a top 6 side or whatever, we then, or even if we don't lose, we then remind them, by the way, we're rubbish. So you should be doing better. So the points are shared this evening. Tomorrow morning we'll be live as always, 9 a.m. with another edition of the Transfer View, as we still are in the January transfer window. We've also got the full view coming tomorrow too, 7 p.m. So be sure to join us then. And now we've got 2 weeks of no football for Manchester United. So yeah, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how January plays out. Anyway, guys, have a great evening. I'll speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.